December the 8th, 1983, the decision was made. The Reserve Bank was to close the markets. This was to allow two of the most far-reaching decisions in Australia's political and economic history. The float of the dollar so that market forces and not the government set the value of the dollar, and the lifting of exchange controls, enabling Australians to freely invest, lend or borrow abroad. Drastic steps, especially for a Labor government, which caught the markets by surprise.
The estimate is that about $900 billion a day flow around and cross the foreign exchanges of the world. I mean, it would have been an exercise in futility to believe that little Australia, I mean, I say little in terms of the size of its economic clout, could have said to the rest, well, we're going to tell you that this is going to be our exchange rate and you'll just honour that and recognise it and work within the framework that we set down.
I can't comment again. I mean, these were things happening, to the extent they were happening in the Cabinet room. I can't. Public servants can't comment on what happened in the Cabinet room. Ministers may feel able to, or give some version of it.
After it became clear that the currency was going to be floated, irrespective of John's views, John Stone and the Treasury officials with him stood up and left the meeting, basically taking the attitude, on your head be it.
At a news conference this evening, Federal Treasurer Paul Keating announced Cabinet's decision to float the dollar and abolish a major part of existing exchange controls.
The decision to float means that the speculators will now be speculating against themselves rather than against the Australian government via the Reserve Bank.
Meanwhile, even opponents of the time have been persuaded of the merit of floating the dollar.
I think those were the most important decisions of an economic kind, that is to say, taken in Australia since the war, and I think I said, and in many ways, the best.